As a couple of Germans, you look across Europe. I want you to look across a bit further to Britain. When you look at Britain, objectively, where do you see that it went wrong?
It started in the 80s with Maggie Thatcher, with the privatization. You can't privatize everything. How can you privatize public transport or the health system?
Education.
Or schools and kindergartens? How do you want to have an aim to make a profit of a retirement home or a kindergarten or a hospital that is sick? Some things are for society and you pay tax. With that taxpayers' money, we should provide in a country like great kindergartens, great hospitals, great schools, great retirement homes. We can just always think about profit. If profit goes above people, it's very bad for a society.
But there's no such thing as society, according to Mrs. Thatcher.
Yeah, but that's totally wrong. If there's not such a thing as society, what is it then?
We have to look back. Capitalism is a really successful story, actually. It created wealth. It helped people. If you look back 100 years ago, 150 years, people had an average lifespan of 35, 40 years. And then capitalism came and created wealth, and we see 50% of the world live actually a good life. The other 50% are still poor, but 150 years ago it was 90 or 95% who were like just poor and didn't know how to feed their children tomorrow. In the 80s, like Reagan, Thatcher, they opened up the door, and since then the capitalism was captured and hijacked by the financial industry, by neoliberalism. Now we have financial capitalism, and this is always bad. With the deregulation of all these things, the whole thing started actually. Since then, we had one financial crisis after the next one, and we always paid, and they got bailed out, and it's coming closer, it's coming faster, and one financial crisis is getting bigger than the other one, and now we're the final bubble, and we're really curious. Who will save now the next bubble? Who will solve it? Who will pay for it? Because there isn't China and there isn't a central bank. And ask Mark Carney if he can save it. I don't know.
And his track record is disastrous. If you have a look at Canada, what happened to the housing market there, for instance, you look at what has happened under his tenure in the UK, grotesque asset bubbles.
Look at Mario Draghi, is the same, but you have to fail to get this position, I guess.
We said that the financial capitalism hijacked proper capitalism and is squeezing it out. For example, you've got a massive company, 50,000 employees, successful company. You could never earn that much money like as a top hedge fund manager. And how sick is that? You're giving work to 50,000 people, creating great products, and there's a hedge fund manager who earns like 10 times as you. That's the best example how the finance industry hijacked the real industry.
Capitalism.
And this is not we said capitalism is great, yeah. But what we have now is financial capitalism, and that's wrong.